All right, thanks for joining me today, there, ladies and gentlemen. And we are going to talk about Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather boxing match part 2. As you remember, about I think 10 years ago, man, it's been that long already. That Manny fought the biggest prize fight ever in history. It's like $100 million each. No, actually, Floyd got 200 or 150 million. Manny got 100 million, something around that range. But all I know, it was the biggest fight ever, and it ended to be a flop because of Manny Pacquiao's torn rotator cuff, whether it's true or not. But in his camp, it was true. But hey, as a Manny Pacquiao fan, I believe it to be true because he's a godly man. He's a faithful man. And if you know something's not right and you're not winning your rounds, and you know that you're not hitting like you used to, like a prize fighter or a champion, something is wrong and something was up, and it was. And you all know how Floyd fights, defensive genius, pocket shots and whatever here and there, and I respect Floyd Mayweather as a professional boxer, but I don't respect him as a businessman, and the way he conducts himself. He conducts himself as a bad guy, and he portrays as a bad guy in the ring, and his persona, his whole boxing career, he's pinpointed as a bad guy, but he chose that position. So good versus bad, and he just pretty much exposes himself of what he's doing, and he doesn't want to lose that goose egg. But let's listen what on Manny Pacquiao's channel here, and listen to what L.A says, and we'll check it out.
I think this is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter who ever. It's number 2 on the all-time list. The scene from the pancit, boo, boo, boo. I don't like that. We gotta call Manny from all the pick. Manny, keep with the F. You're Manny. The next fight, I'm calling you for the pick. Okay. The fact that he's picking Mosley makes you think twice about it, doesn't it? Right? Right? He's been fair. He's been totally fair, so I gotta stop the big pick. Am I missing something?
If you watch Mosley's his prime, in his prime, it's really good.
He's come back. Make sure you don't read for leave. Hey, what's up, Chef? How are you? Good to see you. Max is gonna be here. This is what? Fucking Manny in the building. Move it. Yeah. So you're gonna be here.
Bro, this is watching behind the scenes and watching how this interview conducted with L.A and his staff here inside the ring, and it's pretty cool how Manny is connecting himself. He's very professional, very humble guy. He just wants to box and box for the fans and have a good fight. He's got all the money, so he doesn't need it to prove himself, but he does want this fight for somebody. He wants to lose that for Mayweather, but hey, that's what he wants. It's hopefully it comes true, but listen. Oh man.
So Jay, what's wrong, brother? How you doing, man?
There's match. Look at that. You Max match.
Oh yeah.
You beat me too. It doesn't know the same as my points. That's fine. That's good.
Alright, so let's pause this for commercial here, but we all know what's going on with right now. Actually, there's legal reasons why he probably wants this fight, and he doesn't want to lose that Mayweather, but he also is in a financial problem too. So if I was him, I'd take this fight, and what's best for him, so he could get himself out of debt, because hey, Floyd Money Mayweather is Floyd Bank Up Moneyweather. So anyway, let's listen to what he says.
Well, Netflix is telling him that too.
Yeah.
He's negotiating right now. He wants to dig in so that you say it's not a real fight.
Right.
That's what he's going to hold out for. But if you hold out, there's no way he can do that. He's going to have to be making.
I think he's probably holding out. The way Mayweather's probably doing it, he is a business guy, but he's It's very very dramatic, and he knows how to pinpoint, target people, or kind of lose your train of thought, or maybe kind of get blustered before a fight. Maybe it's his technique to get Manny all flustered, and then all of a sudden he'll say, "Okay, the fight is on," and stuff like that. He's got his ways. There's a blueprint to Floyd Mayweather, and his blueprint is to pick his opponents, figure out his weaknesses, and then prey upon his weakness and exploit it, and then target on his weaknesses. And we all know that Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter, puncher, but he's already 47, so he's up in that age that his feet's slower, his punches are slower, but he still has that big punch that he's going to knock you on your ass, and that's what Floyd is afraid of. Floyd is he's almost in his 50s too, so he's getting up there as well. He definitely doesn't want to lose at all. So let's just say that he is definitely scared, absolutely, because he can lose at all, and he's also financially ruined. Apparently, he's like $7 million in debt, so that can really screw up your head. Knowing him, let's just say his true colors are coming out, and all the people who support him or back him up are thinking twice about him and supporting him in his second fight if it happens. But anyway, it's just
He's boxed in. He's fully cornered right now. He's cornered.
He's good at outlast.
Can get out.
yeah.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Cop, Shady, and we are joined now by Manny Pacquiao, who on my list, I know a little bit about boxing history, folks. Other than Sugar Ray Robinson, I think this is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter who ever lived. That's number 2 on the all-time list. The CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions, Jazz Mather. Guys, thanks for joining us. Before we get to the Floyd Mayweather news, I know you wanted to touch on a recent business deal that you've entered with Team Boxing Week. Can you tell us what that is? 9-figure deal, also makes Manny the owner, an active fighter of the San Diego TJs franchise.
Wow.
So we're taking, what we've basically done is we got involved in the sport. I mean, PBL is the team sport, right? So you're looking at men and women competing on the same team. Manny's going to have ownership in the San Diego TJs.
Nice. Interesting.
The League of Destiny. So we help inspire and empower fighters and stuff, and we get them involved in this.
I'm gonna have to find out what that league's all about. I have no idea what this league's all about. Man and women, what, fighting like together? That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out.
So what's your pitch, man? You have a pitch. Do you have a pitch? How do you pitch people to join this league? I want to join. So how do I pitch me? He wants to join. He wants to fight.
Look,
He's great at saying not. If you're looking for someone to get in the ring and say, "This is your guy."
Fighter economics. So different from traditional boxing. In TBL, the fighters actually have a piece on the upside on sponsorship participation, equity participation, revenue sharing from the actual fights, the gates, etc.
So he's got really good ownership on that. So
it's your purse. Yeah. It's an NFL-like model, so it's the teams own the league in the end, right? So you have access to growth. As the league grows, the team grows.
see what I mean? That's a good business decision. Manny Pacquiao hooking up with his promoter, and this guy's definitely got some money behind him and some deep ass backing. And to be successful out of the ring now, business wise, hook up with the right people who've got an idea on assets to pinpoint a new genre or new boxing or new fighting. Ring or whatever. I have to find out myself and see what's going on, so that he can just not do boxing anymore, because he's pretty much gonna retire if this fight happens, and then he's gonna focus on his other businesses and other business ventures, and that's how you become a businessman. So anyway, Floyd Mayweather is doing it all wrong. Hooking up with the wrong business deals with people who are very shady, it's not good business, because in the long run, it's always going to bite you in the ass. I'm just saying.
And there's some very, very, very big guys and big funds that are involved behind this.
So now the rematch with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
It was announced by Netflix, right, in February as a professional boxing match at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And then a few weeks ago, Floyd said it was an exhibition and that the Sphere was not guaranteed as the location. Let me ask you, Manny, when you first heard that Floyd said, no, it's not a professional fight, it's an exhibition, what were you thinking?
I called just right away. What happened? What happened? Like, that's not what.
What happened? That's not what he signed. Yeah, not the contract.
So, if you get this advance, why he's announcing like this propaganda exhibition that.
Yeah, propaganda exhibition.
Just told me this. I don't have an idea. So.
Why do you think that he wants it to be an exhibition, even though he signed the contract? Floyd's signature is on this contract?
Floyd's signature is on multiple contracts.
And it says professional fight.
Professional fight.
Why do you think that Floyd is now saying, after he signed the contract for a professional fight, no, it's an exhibition? Why do you think? Do you have an opinion, a theory?
I think he's scared of losing.
Yeah, losing that O. He's afraid of losing that O.
His leverage for to go around and have exhibition because of his undefeated record. But if that record,
he's afraid of losing that O.
What else that he can leverage for?
Come on, man, be a man, bro. Like my dad always says, be a man. Yeah, boy.
You lost fights, but you fought everyone, right? So
one thing without
you're
my
still
dad,
one of
man.
the greatest fighters who ever lived. And
Taught me a good lesson in life.
You're Manny Pacquiao, but you think it means that much to him to be undefeated, that even though there's so much money on the line and he's already signed it, he now wants it to be an exhibition?
That's I always say that it doesn't matter if you're an undefeated fighter. What I can say is like he's a self-proclaimed GOAT.
Right.
Self-proclaimed GOAT because he can even claim in which part that he can claim that he's the only.
Yeah, is that zero? Is that O?
He's the only undefeated fighter who retired. Not fighters. At least more than 15 fighters who retired undefeated. So, but I can't claim some of those.
Yeah.
The only 8 division and the only fighter who became a world champion in 4 decades, 4 different decades. 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020. But I'm not raising my own chair. I let the fans decide.
Your chair high. Your chair is high already, man.
And you came 1 point away from having a belt in the 2020. So no, you already had a belt in the 2020.
2020, yes.
Yeah. So pardon me. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So that's 4 decades.
Yeah, pretty good.
Man, that's 4 decades. That's 40 years, man. So he started fighting when he was like, God, in his teens, like 13, 14 years old. So this guy's a serious fighter, man. So, he's fighting in the barrios, man. As a Filipino myself, born and raised, well, born but not raised, because I came here to Canada when I was 4 with my family, which is a great idea because, never went back there, but I was soon to go back soon. But, I seen how the people live there, and I hear what my mom and dad and my brothers who went back there, what it's all about. I see pictures, see my family. Never met my grandparents though, but they passed away. But the fact is that I know how they live back there, man. It's brutal, It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, man. So a lot of crime as well too. So anyway, but there's crime in every third world country, but.
Almost, if you win a belt now, it's the second half of the 2020.
But Manny, look, you came out and said that you're not interested in doing a fight with Mayweather. It's not indeed a fight; it's an exhibition. And I'm with you, and the other fans are with you too. I don't want to see this again as an exhibition. The exhibitions are played out. I want to see a fight. You want to see Mayweather risk his O. And we saw how good you looked against Barrios.
Yeah.
What is the next step here to make Mayweather honor his word and honor his contract?
Well, for me, he cannot get out for this contract because a lot of consequences that he's going to face if he don't fight this, fulfill this commitment.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you this though, right? Because all the fans in the world, when you say Pacquiao versus Floyd, everybody wants to see it. That's why Netflix got involved. And if it doesn't happen as a pro fight, all that money being involved, you're not gonna say we ain't fighting because of that, right?
Netflix doesn't want to be involved in that. We don't want that to happen. Look, Floyd cares about money. And all that Floyd needs to see is, you know, whoever is managing or representing Floyd today, I personally...
It's hard to keep track.
It's hard to keep track. I don't know what's going on over there.
Have you been in negotiations over the past week since Floyd started backtracking?
The attorneys are.
So you not and who are they? Are they? They're dealing with Floyd's attorneys, not Floyd, correct?
Correct. We're dealing with attorneys. I mean, he's communicating with some of the other the production partners and such. There is direct conversation.
Hold on. Okay, so now they got the attorneys involved. So if you're, you know, in Mayweather's shoes, you got the attorneys, man. Now we're gonna spend more money on the attorneys. So if, as a businessman, so-called business guy, you better make a business decision and fight this fight, make $1 billion and get yourself out of debt. Whether you lose that O or you win that O, the blueprint of how Mayweather is that is it worth to lose that O to make $1 billion and get yourself out of debt, or is it worth to cancel the fight and get more in debt and then lose that O and then lose your fans? Put it that way, you know. That's my take anyway. So, like one of the business guys that I know, a friend of mine, he says, I forgot what he said. I lose my train of thought. But anyway, I'll get back to you on that. But I think twice about canceling the fight because it's gonna get you more in debt financially, and then you're gonna lose everything, and not just your money, your subscribers, your fans, and all the boxing world, and it's just gonna become a mess, and you're gonna be known as a laughing stock. Trust me on that. You've seen it, and no one's gonna be caring about your like Manny said, there's a lot of other boxers out there that has 0 losses. I think he says like 10 or 15, and you know, he's protected at all. So anyway.
But they just have to see the light as to the platform and the size of what Netflix is and what it brings, what all opportunities it can bring.
So Jazz, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is the deadline? Obviously, Netflix already announced that you have to... What is the hard deadline to get this resolved?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, what time?
14. End of business day.
End of business tomorrow.
Yeah. And we're getting ahead. We're getting ahead. As long as he's got smart people around him that can see the size of the opportunity, then they can make him a lot of money.
There you go.
More money than he's made in the last 5 years.
Probably $1 billion.
If I'm understanding correctly,
She's just saying that you can get yourself out of debt with this fight, whether you lose your O or not.
Then legal proceedings will begin.
I guess. Look, that's not directly in our hands or in my hands to speak on. There's many parties involved, but all I can say is we are making headway on it. There is a contract in place, and I think better sense will prevail here. We hope it will.
If that doesn't happen, though, because that's the biggest fight that everybody wants to see.
Correct.
It's Floyd and Pacquiao.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen, then what? Because when you got Netflix involved,
I mean, listen, we have, when I first brought this up to Manny and we started talking about it, he shared some concerns with me about this, and obviously me having been on that side for a long time as well with Floyd, I know how that operation works. So going into this, like I advise, I told everyone in advance that we're gonna run into problems, we're gonna have roadblocks, we're gonna need to pivot. But we have some different plans in place. So
well, Manny is an active, pretty active, for his age, active prize fighter who just fought Mario Barrios not long ago to a draw. He came a point away from actually collecting another belt. Floyd's exact words, so he has options professionally. Floyd's exact words were, quote, "It's an exhibition, so we're both winners.
The heck did I just
we just want to go out there, entertain the people, put on a good show."
Oh, there we go. All right, yeah, to go back and a friend of mine who's a very successful businessman, the word he said is make decisions quickly, irreversible decisions slowly. So you know that the decision is quick. Wise decisions quickly, Make wise decisions quickly and irreversible decisions slowly, and that always stuck in my mind. So put that in the bag there.
When he said that, from where I was sitting, he kind of gave away the fact that he really doesn't want to risk the record, right? That kind of gives it away.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? You're a respectful guy, but as a fighter, how do you feel about that position he's taking?
Well, what I said is like, I think he's scared.
Scared,
He's scared of his record.
Yeah, scared of his record. Losing that O.
Going that record. Because, like I said, that's his leverage to go around.
But how did you feel toward it? Did you respect it? Did you not respect it? As a fighter, how did you feel?
As a fighter, I'm a fighter, and I respect everyone. Opinion, I respect everyone's decision. But I hope that on that decision, announcement of Floyd that he will, what he signed is a real fight. So he should fulfill his commitment.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of Floyd's exhibitions that he's fought through the years? Did you watch any of them?
No.
No.
Wondering what you thought as a scout.
No.
How Floyd looked.
To me, this sounds like this comes down to
No, I didn't watch his exhibitions. Yeah.
Money,
That's exactly what it is. It's
right?
exhibition. It's not really a fight.
Man, look, obviously it didn't go your way when you fought Floyd in 2015. Still the biggest fight in boxing history, business-wise. Shattered all the records.
Yeah.
Everything you accomplished. Max saying that you're number 2 pound for pound ever. If you do beat Floyd, where would that rank for you in terms of your accomplishments, even at this age?
At this age?
Yeah, wait, how would this rank as far as accomplishments? If you
Of
do
all the
beat
things
Floyd?
you've done in your career, the fights with Barrera, Morales, Ledwaba, Margarito, Mosley,
Keith
Carter,
Urban at that age.
Hatton.
Yeah.
Well, like where would this rank?
This is the most important.
The most important there.
Marquez.
Because a lot of people like who's the greatest, who is the like blah blah blah, who's the winner like that.
Yeah.
There's a plenty of running around, and he won the fight.
I do want to ask you this though. When you guys were both at your prime, right, and we waited the 5 years you guys fought, why didn't you guys fight in that period where you were the man and he was the man? Because I'm a boxing fan. You one of my favorites. I need to know so when I can tell my kids why y'all both didn't fight at your prime of your career.
No, you know what? Because that was way back. Floyd is my fan. One of my fans.
He was one of your biggest fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
One of my biggest
Floyd
fans.
Didn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, I take that.
Jazz, you said that Floyd already took an advance on the first round. He did? Okay. How significant is that number?
Oh, my
And that
God.
It was reported, I don't know if it's true or
Even he's laughing too. That's funny.
reported that
He's my
he also
fan.
used the contract as collateral to take another loan?
There's one loan,
Okay.
right? So I mean, there's so many things that go around, right? There's one loan, but yeah, the contracts are, for that loan, the contract is collateralized. Like that Mike Tyson exhibition contract that he has, it is collateralized against that loan. I mean, that's the lender's underwriting process.
So, and this is inside baseball or boxing contracts, as it were, but what are next steps? Like, if he's already taken an advance from Netflix, or the loan is used as collateral, et cetera, I don't know how it gets pretty complicated. What's the recourse?
Yeah, exactly. What's the recourse?
No, I mean, if he digs in his heels and he doesn't have the right,
You know what I mean?
what is your remedy? Like, do you guys have a way to remedy the situation?
I mean, look, our remedy is strictly legal in what we're doing, right? We're taking the approach, and you can't control a person's actions, right? Like we can't. He's gonna sit and sign documents, go out tomorrow and say it's an exhibition, and confuse everybody, right?
Yeah.
It's not a fact. But what can we do if he just chooses to sit at home?
Okay, so that's what I mean. So he's saying he signed his contract, making all these millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. I heard it's probably one of the almost $1 billion fights. So, and then that's gonna lose that all, and then for him to do that, that can really baffle Manny Pacquiao's training, and that can really deter him. So that could be another one of Mayweather's blueprint on how to defeat his opponent. And Manny, as much as we love Manny, and as a 100% Manny Pacquiao fan, and I root for the guy 100%, Manny doesn't know how to do that tactical. He just knows how to fight the way he knows how to fight. Go there and just beat the living shit out of each other. 5, 10, 20,000, 20 punch combinations, move in and out, sideways, bad. He might want to change that a little bit too, because a lot of opponents already know how he fights and how he operates. So he might want to change things up a little bit too, so that he won't show his secrets to the other opponents, because other people are also picking fighting and seeing how his technique is, because he's been in it for over 40 years, so people are going to study him, right? So anyway,
when step in the ring, even on fight night, I mean, there's a limit to how far anybody can control a situation.
Yeah.
All we can do is be proactive on our side, think far ahead, be 10 steps ahead, figure out, hey, if this doesn't work, how do we pivot? How do we re-strategize? How do we get to the goal that we're looking for?
But isn't it difficult though if he declares bankruptcy or whatever, whatever, and
it's not that simple.
and you are entitled to some damages, one would suppose. So would Netflix, maybe. What do you do about it if the guy doesn't have the money? How can you force his hand? And couldn't he use that as leverage to get you guys to accept the idea that it wouldn't be a professional fight?
Floyd is way too prideful to even think of doing something like that.
There you go. He's prideful.
When you say
and prideful could get you. It says in the Bible, man, don't be too prideful. That can get you.
He's way
Scripture.
too prideful for that. You understand? His whole image is based around money.
It's his nickname,
That's
right?
his nickname.
Money.
Mayweather.
He could sell that as a business.
Well, my thing is, there's always a lot of rumors of other
They
fighters.
call him money bankrupt Mayweather.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't here to talk about this. You got Netflix at the door, right?
Yes.
Pacquiao, Floyd, they're not going to make nowhere near that money if they fight other fighters.
Right.
So now we're here at this table, right? Are we really going to let that little wordage of this old government? One second. My thing is, it's about the paper. And he want to make a lot of money like Floyd make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So my thing is, are we going to stop that from you signing that money and
We're
getting
not
that
stopping
paper?
that. We're not stopping it, and we're not interested in an exhibition. We're not interested in it. Netflix is not interested in it, and he knows that no one's interested in it. They've tried to turn this thing around. Some people have advised him that
Shady's trying to protect.
Yeah,
Floyd's
that's what I'm trying to do.
No,
It's
no,
not a
no,
little
no.
wordage. That's why I
That's
did that.
Pacquiao, my man. Floyd, I know
Yeah,
that.
no,
He
yes,
a brother for sure.
No.
But-
I'm saying you like the undefeated.
What I'm saying is,
Pacquiao is one of his favorite fighters.
Yeah, I'm having. I played for money. So what I'm saying is, there's no other opponent out there that he's gonna make the money. He's gonna make for Floyd, and Floyd's not gonna make the money he wants to make without Pacquiao.
Shady is pointing to
That's talking that paper.
the point of negotiation and leverage and who's going to blink first. There's a lot of money on the table, ostensibly more if it's a professional fight. And your suggestion is you guys might blink before Floyd.
We're not blinking. We're not blinking. This ain't listen, I am by far the worst person on the planet to play chicken with. So we're not blinking. These are the contracts, you signed, it's a done deal. Simple as that. He signed the contracts. He got paid advances against all the contracts. He got a loan. He's notarized the loan docs. He made
Did you guys get any
photos.
advances?
Come on.
Did you guys get any advances?
Of course Manny got his advance.
And like you said, to me, that was
Wow.
You can't take a contract.
They get an advance, plus they get the prize money at the end as well too. So they're banking some serious money, man. We're talking about $1 billion. So you might want to reconsider about you just fight there, Floyd money bankrupt weather.
Have it announced by Netflix. Authorize your people to go and post Netflix and follow them, and they don't do it on Instagram, right? We have all those.
So if the
messages.
fight's off, he's not responsible for his advance because he honored the contract to his ability, but Floyd is, or is he responsible for his advance?
As of right now, he's not responsible.
Got it.
But we also looking to enter a proper partnership deal with Everwonder, with Netflix. Like, we're doing good
Gotcha.
by them.
You want to be good
Understand?
partner. Like, guys,
Yeah, we're doing good
we
business.
have more. Jazz, thank you for your time, because coming up, Manny, you're sticking around. We got you. Your guy's not here to help you. We got you all organized up. Close the doors. More with Manny Pacquiao. This is Inside the Ring.
It reveals who wins Crawford versus Prime Mayweather on Netflix. So we're going to continue on from my piss break. So the magical of editing. So anyway, so let's proceed on for the next 15 minutes left of this interview.
Back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Cop, Shady, Manny Pacquiao. Manny just said something before we get anything else. because I always wonder about this. The guy who everyone's looking for the next so-and-so, right? The next Manny Pacquiao. And the guy who's come closest to me is Inoue, the monster.
Yeah.
And you just asked me about Inoue. Are you a big fan of Inoue's?
Yeah, I like him. I like the way he fights.
Is he the closest thing to you? I'm not saying he's as great as you, but is he the closest thing to Pacquiao that we have in the game right now?
Oh yeah, I can say that. Closest to me because when he started, I went to Japan and then he asked me about what the proper punches and techniques like that.
Well, he learned it well.
Yeah.
Because he's been giving them the proper punching techniques.
Well, I told
Oh yeah.
him,
Anyways, another
the most important-
phenomenal boxer who's based in Japan and
What work, then you can do it.
phenomenal
Is
boxer.
that what Freddie gave you when you got to Wild Card? Did that take your game to the next level, the footwork?
The footwork is the best.
Yeah.
Because before Freddie, you were in and out, and then with Freddie, you started giving him more angles, right? Yeah. And then it was bad enough when it was just in and out with Manny. Once you started giving him angles, whew, it was a problem.
Yeah.
Manny, you spent 3.5 years away from professional boxing before returning in July with a draw against Mario Barrios, who was 16 years younger than you. After that fight, how much did you feel like the old Pacquiao was still in there?
After that fight, I can say, I'm only training 2 months training in that fight. Supposedly, at least minimum 3 months or 3.5 months, 4 months more. But just
Yeah, when he fought Barrios, it was good, which was actually a pretty good fight because you could see a small glimpse of the same Pacquiao back in the ring again, and Barrios is 16 years younger than him. But I think Manny should have won. So did everybody else as well too. But Barrios, no, Captain Barrios, he put up a good fight, but there wasn't enough action, not enough punches on his side, and the way Manny is a champion, he should have won that, but who knows. Barrios did put up a good fight, but come on, it's that's boxing, I guess, so whatever.
in 2 months preparation and my speed, my
Yeah.
condition and my speed like that, so I can do more. Like I can do more than that.
What if I told you you'll
All right,
experience
so let's
longer?
get this commercial here, so move on.
I can still feel like I can still fight. I'm strong because I'm so disciplined person. Like
Yeah, very disciplined. Focused.
Everything like that.
Was there any time in the fight where you saw an opening and you were like, if I was 10 years younger, I would have hit him right there? Yeah, right?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, see, that's telling me does it. Yeah.
In my top 5, I got Ali, I got Pacquiao, I got Roy Jones, I got Bud Crawford now, and obviously Floyd Mayweather. Can you give us your top 5 of all time?
How about Sugar Ray Leonard? Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sure, he was great. This is my top 5, man.
Mine is including Muhammad Ali,
For sure.
me and Sugar Ray Leonard, Julio Cesar Chavez.
Killer.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yes.
In his prime, believe me.
Excellent.
So I'm saying, I love Chavez, but if you have Chavez, you have to have Pernell Whitaker in there because he beat Chavez.
Pernell, I think he's gonna reach the second.
Right?
Almost.
Yeah, right, yeah. All those, yeah.
He loves Pernell Whitaker. That's his guy.
Last 10 seconds.
No, that was Nelson
talking about
Taylor.
Taylor.
I mean Pernell.
Oh, Pernell.
Pernell.
Oh, yeah,
He got the draw, but he won the fight.
Yeah.
He won the fight, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Chavez was this generation doesn't know. Chavez, the daddy, was a killer.
Yeah.
A killer.
Yeah, he was nuts.
The right way.
The Taylor fight. Like,
No, Meldrick, sure, of course, yeah. You love fights like that. Yeah.
2 seconds.
So Bernard Hopkins has publicly warned about older fighters taking on top guys because when you're older, you're fighting your opponent, you're fighting father time, right? So
Father
how
time
do you
always wins.
Feel about that,
Always.
fighting the younger guys. Now, let's
But
say Floyd
you try your best,
This is what I discovered in boxing. I always, as a fighter, I always mix science. That's being a fighter, mix science into mix science in sport like that. So how to get into rhythm like when you were young like that. So this is why I discovered because at age of 30 plus, 40 plus, your metabolism is become slow.
Yes.
So meaning to say your recovery is not that easy compared before when you were young.
That's true.
So what I discover right now is you're getting slower,
Rest and recovery all the time.
But there's a way that you can stay in fit, stay in shape and in speed. So you can get that as long as you taking care of your body, how you prepare. To prepare it's not in 2 months or 2.5 months. Like you need more long preparation because you need your body to have rest during the heavy training day. Right? So it's not
Smart,
time to give your body rest and then you can push again.
Yeah.
Rest and push again. That's how it is when you are getting old.
Smarter.
Exactly.
Yeah, Manny, I think to me, it gets forgotten that you were going to be fighting Errol Spence. It was a really big fight, right? Spence has to undergo surgery, and then you end up fighting a very tough fighter in Yordenis Ugas on short notice, very different style. But how do you think
That's how he lost.
He would have fought
He didn't
Spence
study
as
as
much.
much. That's how he lost. Tell the truth.
Oh, it will be different.
Okay, let's pause that for a second. That's how he lost against Ugas because he didn't study Ugas. When Spence got injured and he had to get an operation, I think on his eye because he had a car accident and stuff like that. The fill-in was Ugas, and he was from Cuba, and he was a bigger guy, but he can fight. He was a slugger too, but Pacquiao's team and him didn't have time to study him. It takes a while to study an opponent, and apparently he wasn't that prominent right now in the boxing, but in his area, yes, but he lost. All right, so when Manny focuses on an opponent, he studies that opponent like other boxers. But when you bow it out and there's a fill-in, guarantee you're gonna lose, and that's what happened to most other fighters who are filled in. That's what happened to Manny Pacquiao when he was filled in for, I think, a Limbabwa. He beat the living crap out of him, and nobody knew about Manny Pacquiao. That was like 25 years ago. But anyway, yeah, that's what happened.
Yes, we did a routine that we not usually do it before the fight. So that's what happened to me. I got cramping 2 legs like that because before the fight we do the massage like that. And in the fight, like I'm cramping like tight. I cannot move. Like
This business AI hack feel.
He was cramping, and he didn't realize. And when you were fighting against Ugas, who was a lot bigger, and Ugas knows about Manny Pacquiao. I'm pretty sure he studied him beforehand. Everybody else did, and that's how he lost.
first time in my career.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
Can you imagine being over 40 years old and wanting to fight Errol Spence? What's the matter with you? What's wrong with you? You're going to fight Errol Spence? Spence was over 40 years old? Spence was a killer. He was young. He was in his prime. He's tall. He's rangy. He's a southpaw. Why would you want to fight Errol Spence at that age?
Of course, I want to fight him because I know I can easily beat him.
Mm-hmm. How would you have beaten him?
The speed. Boxing is not about your strength. It's not about your how you strong to punch. It's about ability, skills in the ring, like
Yes.
how you move, how you. That's boxing. That's sport. That's the secret of being an 8 different division.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
To be a champion in 8 different division is not that easy that you can think of. Like, you have to go through a lot of things to consider it. Like even the smallest, like moving around. It's not boxing. It's not just about I'm strong, but you're strong, but
It's more than
how can you hit your opponent?
People think of Manny Pacquiao as one of the great phenomenon in terms of speed and power, right? But Floyd Mayweather has always said, in terms of thinking, that Pacquiao was his smartest opponent. Was the hardest fight for him mentally because of how you think about boxing. That's what Floyd said about you.
And I heard Max just say something to you, and y'all was talking about when you got with Freddie Roach, how your footwork changed for the better. One thing I always admired about you, man, was your loyalty. Nowadays, fighters get with trainers, and when things don't go their way, the first thing they do is they go down south and go try to find an answer from somewhere else. Something that you've always done with Freddie Roach was stay loyal regardless of your ups and downs. What was the bond that always kept you and Freddie so tight, where no matter what happened, you stayed?
Tell him the secret, because he wants to hold on to all his fights.
It's about relationship.
Yeah.
You know how you get connected in relationship to your team. It's about like that. And during training, it's up to the fighter how to push themselves. It's up to them. You know, even you have a best trainer, a good trainer. If the fighter is lazy, don't push something.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You
He's
have to-
basically saying you can't babysit your fighter.
You can't want it for him. One fighter has to want it.
Yes.
And he brought up Errol Spence.
In our team with Freddie, usually the trainer will push you to do extra round, but in our situation, they're watching me to stop.
Right.
To stop.
Don't overtrain.
Yes, don't overtrain to stop, and we come to the point that off the time because I don't stop.
You don't get to be Manny Pacquiao in any walk of life by being lazy. Right. Hey, hold on, no more questions. No, but we have to get to the game.
I just want to
Are the producers in there? Does this thing work for you?
Art coaching mad at me. See how the coaching mad at me? See?
Before we let you go, the reason I'm cutting Shady off, I'm sure he had a fantastic question. We want to play a game with you, okay? Where we name a fight between someone you fought, because you fought everybody.
Yes, he did.
And then a current fighter. Now, when I say the name of the guy you fought Shane Mosley, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have to take you fought an old Shane Mosley. You can make him in his prime, okay? Take Shane Mosley and put him in against the guy we're going to say, okay? So you tell us how the old fighters would do against these young fighters. We're calling it Pacquiao Pick'em. Here we go, the first one. What would happen if Antonio Margarito fought Devin Haney? You fought and beat Margarito. Beat him up.
Devin Haney will beat Margarito.
Why?
Speed has a power.
By the way,
Okay, Debo.
See how a lot
Debo
of guys,
Haney.
see how a lot of guys, the older fighters, will always say the guy he fought was better than the new guy. Pacquiao will shoot you straight. Okay.
Yes.
How about Oscar De La Hoya versus Ryan Garcia?
Oscar De La Hoya is fine.
Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya in his prime was
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Just about as good as it ever got. Right?
Yeah.
How about this one?
That's prime.
Floyd Mayweather against Terrence Crawford.
Wow.
Floyd Mayweather against Terence Crawford, I think Terence Crawford.
Why? Why?
In both prime.
Both the prime. You think Crawford is? Why do you like Crawford?
He has advantage. He is a southpaw.
Right? By the way,
Yes.
switch hitter.
I agree. I think Bud beats
Manny keeps it simple.
I think Bud gets that one for sure.
That's a really good point.
I saw Crawford as a southpaw. He mastered it. Like he know how to handle his advantage. He know
Yeah.
to maximize his advantage. Against,
Wow. Amazing.
And then how about Floyd against whoever that's supposed to be? Oh, that's supposed to be Terrence Crawford. Never mind. All right. Juan Manuel Marquez against Naoya Inoue.
Whoa.
Inoue beats Marquez.
No hesitation.
Yes. Wow. That's see to me.
In a way, can go around in counter markets.
What is really interesting to me about you, Manny? is
Interesting.
A lot
Wow.
of times, if you talk to a fighter,
Hey, he's a pro, man. He's Manny.
He won some against, he lost some against, but they were like an even kind of match. You're not going to say the new guy beats your rival because it's almost like saying you're picking the new guy over you. But you're being honest. You just think Inoue has the right style to beat Marquez.
Yes, because he's a good counter puncher.
Introducing Crash
Wow.
Store.
Anyway, the kind of right. Yeah. Plus he's fast and speed too, and it makes sense. Oh, it's damn commercials.
Marquez, his style is if you are a counter puncher, then you can beat.
Right, but you were aggressive. That's why your styles matched up so well.
Exactly. Because I'm a fighter that I don't like, winning. I don't
ready to fight.
I don't want the fans to disappoint, like winning each other like that. So I don't want to hear from the fans say boo, boo, boo. I don't like that.
We gotta call Manny from all the The next fight, I'm calling for the pick.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Shane Mosley against Shakur Stevenson?
Shakur Stevenson and Mosley in his prime.
Yeah, both in
I
prime.
want Mosley.
Mosley, why Mosley?
Mosley is a speed and has a combination like that in his prime.
That's twitchy.
Manny, god dang it, Yeah, but let me ask you this. Okay, I'm with you. I like maybe Shakur in his prime, but let me ask you this. Based on Manny's other answers, the fact that he's picking Mosley makes you think twice about it, doesn't it?
That's true.
Right?
He's been fair. He's
been totally fair, so I gotta stop and think, wait, am I missing something?
If you watch Mosley's his prime, in his prime, like, it's very good.
He's very unbelievable. Yes, one of the best.
It's hard to hit. It's hard to hit, and he can move around like.
Shane Mosley against Oscar De La Hoya, their first fight at welterweight. That's about as good as boxing gets.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw that.
Great fight, right? The great Manny Pacquiao. Yes. I'm here to tell you, if it wasn't for Sugar Ray Robinson, that'd be the greatest pound-for-pound fiiter in the history of boxing. Yes. We appreciate you coming on, Manny. Always good to see you. Great to see you.
But don't leave yet. I gotta get my selfie.
I don't know, man.
I gotta get my selfie.
We have a show to do. All right, coming up.
All right, so that was pretty much the ins and outs of Manny Pacquiao and how he broke down about Mayweather and his fight, so-called part 2, and looks like it's going to be a bust, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. He did sign a contract. When you sign that contract and put that name in a dotted line, you better fulfill that contract there, buddy boy. And the whole world wants to see, even though he's a little bit older and you both are a little older, hey, man, you're talking about $1 billion, man. When you get that $1 billion, even if you lose that O, you get yourself out of debt and then still call yourself a champion, paper champion anyway. But anyway, go for Manny Pacquiao, and hopefully it will preside in the Netflix, I think 2027 or something like that. They are pretty old in boxing terms anyway. So we'll see what happens to that. Good luck to this boxing match, part 2 with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. That's my piece on this segment on Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Bye for now. God bless. Godspeed. See you in the next video. Boom.